Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another second stimulus check and second stimulus package update as we begin this brand new week together. And in today's update, I want to take a revisit and focus once again about the unemployment benefits boost extension. And I have really incredibly great news to share about the unemployment situation is that as of the time that I'm making this video, every single state, as crazy as it is to believe now, all 50 states have officially been approved for the unemployment benefits boost extension or have officially applied and is basically right on the path and on the verge of basically being approved, which they likely will be approved in the next 1 to even 2 or 3 days or so, with the exception of South Dakota, of course, because we've kind of established the situation with South Dakota in the last couple of videos. Smash the like button in support of this great news and consider subscribing and hitting the bell if you're brand new here so you guys can get updated on all of these videos that I have basically been putting out. And then the other great news that I have to share with you guys is that as of the time that I'm making this video now, there have also been many states that have now officially seen their unemployment benefits boost extension deposited right into their bank account, which, as we've talked about in previous videos, is probably the best proof to know that it has officially been official. And the other great news is that there's likely going to be many other states that are going to be following and seeing their amount deposited into their bank now in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So really just hoping from the best from here. But in today's video, I want to give you guys basically an update about all of the different states, about the unemployment situation there, and then maybe also answering some also frequently asked questions once again, like we've kind of done in the past updates. Today we're probably going to be talking about the status of different states, what any kind of new news or updates that have been going on, and then maybe answering also some frequently asked questions such as what happens if you run out of like the unemployment effective days to basically claim, what states basically have to do, whether or not they have to recertify, and also about what are possible delays that might possibly happen to every single individual state. Because as we've mentioned in the last video, where I basically gave you guys a table with all of the estimated dates, we kind of talked a little bit about how a lot of the dates that we came up with in the table in the last video, which by the way, if you're brand new here, definitely check out that video because I basically have a table where I list out all of the dates. Half of the dates are official and set in stone. The other half of the dates are estimated dates that are subject to change, kind of like as we've previously mentioned, is that they're not necessarily official dates, but there are dates that were basically created by just as much research as we possibly can to kind of speculate. So they're really just based on like what other states that were approved at similar times have done, what states have basically said, the fact that a lot of states, they end their payment cycle on a Sunday, so likely the payment has to come something around like a Tuesday or Wednesday because that's the 2 to 3 days after the cycle ends. Or some states that maybe didn't give a specific date but said, you know, approximately like we're gonna do it about 2 to 3 weeks later. So that's where a lot. So definitely check out the previous video where I basically give a rundown about all sorts of different states and also answer a lot of other frequently asked questions in the other video, such as like the amount, whether or not it's retroactive, how many weeks it's retroactive, because there was a little bit of an explanation to kind of clarify. So if you guys have any questions about that part, definitely recommend checking out that video, which I'll also put an end screen at the very end of this video, so you guys can basically check it out at the very end, so it's easy. You guys can watch it right after this video. So yeah, I hope every single person had a fantastic Labor Day weekend, even though I know this was obviously a very unique Labor Day weekend, very different than most Labor Days in the past. But I hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. And before we begin, make sure you smash the like button because it definitely does help out the channel. It takes some time to do all of the research and it's very easy to just hit the like button, and consider subscribing and hitting the bell to get notified about future updates about unemployment, anything like that with the stimulus check, stimulus package. When we're not making stimulus videos, it'll probably be more about other finance topics, so just something to be aware of. And feel free to comment any questions or thoughts at any time as you're watching through this video. Okay, let's begin. So yes, as you guys have previously just heard, every single state, all 50 states, have officially gotten their unemployment benefits boost extension approved, with the exception of, I believe, about 3 to 4 states which have officially applied and likely will be now approved in the next 3 to 4, maybe even tomorrow, very likely. And I believe 12 states have officially seen their unemployment benefits boost extension deposited into their bank account, which I believe is the most official proof as we can think think of, and many other more states that likely will be seeing their unemployment finally come in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So a lot of great upside news there. Since there have been so many states that have officially been approved, which is such a great thing, I won't read out every single state. I'm just gonna throw this table up right here. So in this table, you guys can basically use this to find your state. You guys can kind of scroll through it. The table's updated literally every single day, which means it's pretty much as accurate as it possibly can be. If it basically says payment pending, it means that you're currently just waiting for the payment to officially arrive. And if it says paid, it means that it pretty much has officially, hopefully settled into your state. So if you are from one of those states, congratulations. I think it's really great news. And if you haven't received it, it's probably just means that because there was maybe like some kind of system delay. So hopefully it will come, hopefully by tomorrow, or if anything in the next 2 to 3 days. But yes, I think the only states that's still waiting for approval is pretty much just Kansas, Nebraska, Nevada, and then Washington DC. I believe Illinois, which is one of the popular states, is basically going to be, I think, by the end of this week, and Pennsylvania I think is also by the end of this week. So likely I think that you're probably going to get it if you're from one of those two states, probably in the beginning of next week. I believe California just paid out to most people, but I also heard apparently some people in Cali are also waiting, but California also has a very giant population, so maybe that's probably what's also added to the delay. Maybe comment down if you are from California so we guys can see about that status, but hopefully it will come by either tomorrow or the next 2 to 3 days. And now I want to answer some frequently commonly asked questions, and I know one of the big questions that a lot of people were wondering was basically what happens if you hit the 0 certification and effective days, when you basically don't have any days to claim. I believe the majority of states actually extended it, so I believe, at least I certainly can almost comment, I'm pretty sure from every single person I asked from New York, because I'm in New York, and I'm sure many states are very similar, that literally you would just continue certifying. I'm pretty sure from most of the people that I've asked, if you've already been applying and been able to receive your unemployment deposit, I'm pretty sure it should likely be automatic and you would literally just continue certifying. There are a few states that you might have to do something, but I believe for those few states, they're likely going to email you some kind of form or something that you guys have to do or fill out. But most states, it should thankfully be automatic. And I know also thankfully that because a lot of this is also retroactive, and we kind of explained how the retroactive stuff worked in the last video, so definitely watch all the way through again because I'll put the thumb screen about that is. But if anything, I believe because it's retroactive, you'll likely still get the payment if anything, but you might just maybe have a little bit of like a delay whatsoever, but likely, hopefully, at least the money will still be there. So that really is the positive great news. And then the last thing I really want to talk about is the potential of delays, and I think this part is really, it's a little bit harder to talk about, but it is important to really hear it out. And I think that there is a possibility and likelihood there will still be some states that may go through some kind of delay. Now the bright news is that most states have actually gotten it even faster and actually even earlier than when they actually anticipated. And the other bright news is that I believe that the majority of states so far, some of them will either not announce it or they will announce it, but sometimes they actually announce it like literally very last minute. Like they literally, I'm pretty sure there are some states that I believe that some states, they won't even give you like a specific date per se, but it kind of will just happen. Like you're literally just gonna wake up and you'll just see it right there, or they will announce it, but they're literally just gonna announce it like a day ahead of time. So the bright news is that many states actually have been approving it and seeing their deposits even earlier than expected. But with that being said, there is a chance, and I think everyone has to be conscious of it, is that some states may actually experience some kind of delay. And if that does happen, the likelihood is that it's going to happen either, the most common reasons, it's either going to be because of population-based reasons, because some states just happen to have so many different people that it maybe is a little bit harder to coordinate the logistics. But that's also why that because California was recently just approved, there is hopefully also positive upside that because California is one of the most populated states, that maybe many states will also pick up the pace and do that. But if your state does get delayed, the likelihood is that if it does get delayed, it will either be because of population-based reasons, because of technology-based reasons, because some states have very old servers that might take some time to get updated, or the last reason, and this reason's it's a reason that I think is a lot of people don't like to talk about, but it's because of politics. And that one is a little bit of a harder one to take in because, for example, like I know, for example, and I'm going to use New York only because I'm from New York and I know a lot of people are also from New York. For New York City, they never gave a specific date per se, but they did give an estimate that it was likely going to come in this week or the following week. And the way they came up with that estimate was really based on, first, is what a lot of states that were approved around that same time did. The fact that New York did state that they were going to try to pick up the pace and move as fast as they possibly can, and that many states typically took about 2 to 3 weeks. Because of that, that's how they kind of came up with the estimate that New York was likely going to do it either this or the next week. And it's still a very huge possibility that it's going to happen. So I hope so, especially because I'm from New York. So whatever happens there, I'm also impacted. I'm kind of with a lot of you guys there. I mean, at the end of the day, we are here all together. But so if there is a delay, the only situation I believe is in New York. I think like last week, there's apparently some kind of political conflict that kind of came up with like funding between Cuomo, Trump, and the feds. So that may now lead to some kind of delay or possibility coming up. I hope not. And again, I think a lot of states, people kind of just wake up and they just see it, or they kind of just wake up and they see the announcement and then literally just the next day they get it. So there is definitely bright upside, but I kind of really just want to address that because there was a lot of things, I think, and a lot of people that wanted to know about it, and I think it's important to really know about this. But I also answer a lot of common questions in the last video, so I'll definitely link it in. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really just wanted to address all this. Feel free to comment down any questions or thoughts about anything at all. We are a small channel, so it's easy to kind of interact with every single person, which I think is the really, really fun and great thing about it. But smash the like button because it does help support the channel, and consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I also just want to say that if you've made it this far also, we actually recently just hit 1,000 subscribers. And while that's not necessarily a big number, I think for me, it's an accomplishment and it's a milestone that means a lot, especially because I make a lot of these videos very, very casually. I'm not monetized, so every single thing I do really is just out of just interest, passion, hobby, and a desire to kind of just have an outlet and platform to kind of just share my words and thoughts about the current situation. But thank you guys so much if you guys have been around for some time. Really, really, truly always appreciate the support. And I think it's that because we're a small channel, what's nice is that we're able to recognize familiar faces and really, really get to know each other and kind of like talk and, you know each other in a much tighter basis. So I think that's the really, really fun thing about it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well. I'll definitely send you guys updates. Smash the like button, subscribe, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys again.